Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
I'm telling you. Come here.
For what?
Come here. I'll talk to you. Come here.
Why?
A man looked back. He adjusted his bag. Seconds later, he was detained. That is not a summary. That is the official justification given by a law enforcement officer on a public street in Washington, D.C., on camera in broad daylight with the entire encounter recorded. 2 unmarked police vehicles begin circling him.
Hey, let me ask you a question, bro. The way you was moving, when you had the satchel on you swung it to the back when we came around. Come here for a sec. Sir, I'm stopping you, sir. Sir, I'm stopping you.
Am I being detained?
Yes.
For what?
I'm telling you. Come here.
For what?
Come here. I'll talk to you. Come here.
Why?
He is walking home from a workout. Small crossbody bag on his shoulder. Quiet, uptown residential street. Trees, birds, nobody around. He is not running, not acting erratically, not matching any description. He is simply walking. Then a third vehicle appears. They spin back around. Officers move toward him, and before he can process what is unfolding, contact is already made. "Hey, let me ask you a question, bro." Casual, almost friendly, but what follows is anything but. "Sir, I'm stopping you. Sir, I'm stopping you. Am I being detained?" "Yes." "For what?" "Come here." "For what?" "Come here." He asked the question repeatedly, calmly, firmly. Hands are on him, gripping him, physically redirecting him on a public sidewalk. And still no answer. He asks again and again.
Just talk to me.
Why are you grabbing me?
You're being stopped. He's okay. He's okay.
For what?
He's okay.
For what?
You're being stopped. I'm going to talk to
For
you.
what?
Okay, listen, sir, I'm going to talk to you. Just
what?
calm down because I don't want to keep doing this. Just stop.
What am I being detained for?
All right? I'm going to tell you why.
Can you tell me right now?
Yes. Just stop right now. You keep trying to pull. All right? You going to stop? My man. When we came up, all right, as soon as you saw us, you looked back twice, correct? You also moved your backpack in the your little satchel area in the back of you, okay? So what I was going to do is pat you down for a possible weapon, okay? So with that being said, we're going to take a stop report. Sir.
Then finally the justification comes. When we came up, as soon as you saw us, you looked back twice. You also moved your satchel to the back of you. So what I was going to do was pat you down for a possible weapon. 2 involuntary movements, a glance backward, a bag adjustment, movements any person makes instinctively when vehicles roll up behind them. And they were enough, according to the officer, to justify stopping, grabbing, and detaining a man on a public street. He refuses to give his name, refuses to show ID, stands firm through the entire encounter without flinching. Then, "You're free to go now, sir." No weapon, no arrest, no apology. He is entered into the system as John Doe at location of 4400 and released. But this encounter was documented from both sides. And even with all of that footage, there is still no clear justification for what happened. So what exactly did happen before the cameras started rolling? Before the cameras started rolling, Jamari Khalif was walking home from a workout. At that point, multiple unmarked vehicles had already begun tracking his movement. According to Jamari, 2 unmarked vehicles passed him slowly. A third followed. Then all 3 turned back. That is when officers made their approach. "Hey, my man! Hey, my man!" Jamari kept moving. Seconds later, they jumped out on him. At this point, no reason for the stop had been communicated. What followed was the encounter already documented. The gripping, the repeated questioning, the justification that ultimately came down to 2 things. He looked back and he adjusted his bag. But what the footage also captures is something just as important as the stop itself. His response to it. He did not comply beyond what was legally required. He refused to provide his name, refused to show ID, refused to give any information. He stood on his rights, composed and deliberate, through an encounter that most people would find deeply unsettling. When it was over, he was logged as John Doe at location 4400 and released without arrest. Jamari later described the encounter as racial profiling and publicly called for the officer to be reported. He shared the officer's badge number, 2554, and identified the officer as Del Burrell. That identification would bring additional scrutiny far beyond this single encounter. And this is where the story expands beyond a single stop. Because what was already on record about Officer Del Burrell raises a question that goes beyond what happened on that quiet DC street. A question that is not about opinion or interpretation. It is about documented legal findings. The key question now is whether this stop meets the legal standard required for a detention. What does the law actually demand before an officer can stop a citizen, hold them against their will, and attempt to search them? Because the answer to that question and what it means for this specific encounter is exactly where we are going next. If this is your first time on this channel, welcome. Hit the like button, subscribe so you never miss a story like this, and drop a comment below telling us where in the world you are watching from. This community is global, and we want to hear from you. Here is what the law actually says. For a law enforcement officer to legally stop and detain a citizen in the United States, there is a specific legal threshold that must be met. It is called reasonable suspicion, and it is not a feeling, it is not instinct, it is not a hunch. It is a legal standard that requires the officer to be able to clearly articulate specific observable facts that would lead a reasonable officer to reasonably suspect that criminal activity may be occurring. That standard exists to prevent arbitrary or unsupported stops. Now apply that standard to this encounter. The officer's own words, on camera, in his own voice, gave us the justification. Not what we assumed, not what we interpreted, what he stated directly. As soon as you saw us, you looked back twice. You also moved your satchel to the back of you. So what I was going to do was pat you down for a possible weapon. That is the officer's stated basis for the stop. A glance, a bag adjustment, no report of a crime in the area, no weapon visible, no threatening behavior documented, no match to any description. 2 movements, both ordinary, both non-criminal, and nothing else. 2 movements consistent with any person noticing vehicles approaching from behind on a public street. And yet those 2 movements were presented as sufficient legal justification to stop, detain, and attempt to search a citizen against his will. Elizabeth Page White is a criminal defense and civil rights attorney who serves as of counsel to attorney Benjamin Crump, meaning they partner on cases together. She reviewed this encounter and commented publicly on it. She stated that this same officer, Officer Del Borel, had been on several of her cases. She noted that a judge recently dismissed one of those cases, finding that he had illegally stopped and searched her clients. Her conclusion seems to be an MO. Not an isolated incident, not a single lapse in judgment. A recurring pattern involving the same officer, documented across multiple cases, with at least one judicial finding of illegal conduct on record. And that pattern appears to be documented. A man walks down a quiet residential street in Washington, D.C. Unmarked vehicles track his movement, officers approach, and he is detained. The stated justification, he looked back and adjusted his bag. No crime reported, no weapon found, no arrest made. He is released as John Doe. That is what happened on that street. But here is what the record shows beyond that street. Officer Del Borel, badge number 2554, has records indicating prior complaints related to searches. A judge previously dismissed a case involving this officer, citing an illegal stop and search. A civil rights attorney who reviewed this encounter described it as consistent with a pattern of behavior. 1 stop, 1 officer, 1 documented pattern. Encounters like this raise questions about how many similar stops go unrecorded. Every person who did not know their rights. Every person who did not refuse to comply beyond what the law required. Every person who handed over their name, their ID, their information. Not because the law demanded it, but because the pressure of the moment made it feel unavoidable. Those encounters happened. They simply were not documented. This is precisely why documentation matters. This is precisely why knowing your rights matters. The law does not exist only in courtrooms. It exists on sidewalks, in quiet residential neighborhoods, on streets where the only witnesses are birds and trees, until someone pulls out a phone. He walked away that day, in part because he understood his rights and asserted them clearly. He gave his name to no one. He produced no ID. He answered no questions beyond what the law required of him. And when it was over, he walked away exactly as he arrived, a free man. That is the detail that does not trend. That is the detail that does not go viral. But it may be the most consequential detail in this entire story. Know your rights. Document everything. Accountability does not begin in a courtroom. It begins on the street when the encounter is documented. If you want more breakdowns like this, subscribe. This channel covers real encounters and what the law actually requires in those moments.